So today we're going to talk about what happens when the cicadas have found a mate and they're up in the trees and they're ready to lay eggs. How does that work, and what are the consequences? What happens when you have billions of these cicadas showing up at one time? Is this a problem for the trees, for example? I think we'll find that, especially for young trees, in fact it is.
So here we have a group of smaller trees. You can see the brown leaves show that the branches have been damaged on these trees.
So we see the young trees tend to suffer more. The older trees seem to handle it well. This is why some people have made an effort to protect their trees. They wrap them up. Here's a pair of cicadas mating, and very soon they're going to want to lay their eggs in a tree branch. So this is the underside of one of those branches, and you can see that they cut at regular spacing, lots of cuts into the underside of the branch, and that's where the eggs end up being laid.
Here are 3 cicadas on the underside of a branch. This is a redbud tree outside the kitchen window, and you can see that they're hanging underneath, and they're in the process of either digging into the branch or laying eggs into the little notches that they've cut.
I usually have to put netting over my raspberries at this time of year, just to keep the birds from eating all of the raspberries. But this year I don't, because, well, the birds' bellies are all full with cicadas. And this year is a mulberry tree. I've actually never had a mulberry from this tree because the birds always eat them right away. This year they're not. So that's a difference. In fact, here is a mulberry right here. I wonder if I can reach it. There's a mulberry. Look at that. I'm going to try it. Okay, first time eating a mulberry. Here we go. Not bad. No, not bad at all. Ultimately, there are good things and bad things about having this many cicadas come through. For the trees that they prefer, their shells end up being a source of food for the trees, so that's a benefit. And lastly, there was a benefit for me, actually. We had a lot of rain. We had 6 inches of rain about 2 weeks ago, which is a lot of rain, most I've seen. And usually when we get 1 or 2 inches of rain, we get water in the basement. So I was really worried about what was going to happen. As it turned out, we had very little water in the basement, and I think it was because the cicadas had made all these holes in the ground. The water went into the ground and not into the house. And so it was a good thing. Thank you, cicadas.